a session for yourself, like an intuitive drawing session. And well, John knows me and he knows my work, so I would not need to do a big introduction for him, but I'm going to do a little introduction for you, Karina, to just tell you who I am and what
Yes.
I do.
Mm-hmm.
So I am a guide for mothers who are seeking to reconnect with themselves, and I normally offer this drawing method to mothers in women's circles or to mothers in my creative workshops. And today I'm delivering this session for the School of Humankind. And as you said, you're connected to John. I think you know who the School of Humankind is. Did you connect through this School of Humankind?
Yeah, I have indeed, because of my interest and my deep interest in intuitive painting. So I am like all of us. I wear many hats, and one of them is an intuitive painter. So I've connected immediately with the energy of the school, and I wanted, but I've never been in touch. This is my first time, and I want to connect and to understand more about the essence and more about the deliverability, and to connect with people who are like-minded, something that I miss.
Amazing. That's amazing. So we're just a bunch of people who are trying to support other people in this tricky business of being human, and dealing with emotions and regulating ourselves is definitely part of this. So this intuitive drawing session that I offer, or this process, is it's actually around this. So I call this the inner peace drawing method, as it is designed to express like emotional turmoil and just find balance through the art practice. And it is a combination of meditation and breathwork and art therapy tools. And I'm not going to explain all of them in detail, but as you say, you're used to do this kind of work, you may even recognize them yourself, I guess.
Oh, it's always nice to learn something new, to see a different interpretation, because we all filter them through who we are. So there's nothing the same, nothing the same. So I'm really, I can't wait.
So I'm just going to briefly tell you how I came to do this. So I am a mother of three, and I had like my two children, the first two children, like right one after the other. And about, I would say, a year after the birth of my second child, I felt very discontent and unhappy and very disconnected and separate from like the person I used to be before I got my children. I don't know if you have children, if you're a mother yourself.
No,
No.
no, I don't, but I have other traumas, which I mean, and things which really got me to that. So yeah,
So
don't
I
worry.
wouldn't call it a trauma.
Everything and everything, every major experience in life has a phase. It's like a dark and light. That's always there. Mm.
Yes. So it's definitely a major life event, that changes a lot in your life. And I just realized that I wasn't the woman I was before having children, and I did not like the version that I was currently living. And I was realizing that, like, very slowly over time, I had become a person I no longer enjoyed being. And I I was kind of just waiting to become this joyful or cheerful or just um, person again that was just how do you say, like, enjoying to live life, which I wasn't. And I was realizing that I was not able to even answer the question, like, what do you want to do then? So what do you like? And I felt like this very faint version of myself, like almost like without color. And I have been a creative person all my life before. So I realized in this moment that I had also stopped my creative practice. And I had experienced changes in my life with the arrival of the children. So I was not kind of naive about this, but I had not expected this shift within me. And
Mm-hmm.
I was then trying to use my art practice to get back to myself. And I managed this pretty well. And I started to manage my mom life, like doing all the practical stuff pretty well. And when I kind of felt on a stable ground again, like I found myself, I became pregnant with my third child. And before, in my experience of getting lost, I was trying to talk about it, and I got the response from a lot of people like, yeah, that's just, you just need to get used to it, like it's just normal. And with my third, I was like, wait a minute, I already am a mom, like, so what's going on here then? And I was having my art practice, and I was able to kind of catch myself in this state of getting lost and keep on track. But I started investigating, and I was like something's happening with me. I feel like a stranger in my brain. I feel like a stranger to myself. What's this? And in my research, I came across the term matrescence. And it's actually a fairly new word. And it's just matrescence, like adolescence, just different, you know, but it's the same changes to your brain, or similar changes to your brain, similar changes to your hormonal system. And in the in this transition from maiden to mother, then also a change in perspective, a change in like how you look at the world, how you look at your relationships, how you look at like just the whole world, you know, seems to just change. And when I found this word, I was like relieved, because before I felt very isolated in this experience. So what I do today is really guiding mothers who are going through this transition that is not named in our society, that is often just ignored, and help them like through this creative practice. What we do in the sessions is we really focus on how you perceive yourself in the role as a mother, but as you're not a mother, and John is obviously not the mother and also not a father, as I know. We can use the method also to just kind of tune in and find the things that kind of block ourselves. Because what I find to be very hindering my process in becoming a mother on my terms were a lot of social scripts around how a good mother had to be, like how I should mother my children, all those expectations. And I had to very how do you say, like deliberately break free from them. And art in this way helped me a lot, so that I could kind of express what was often without words, just a felt sense within me, getting out of getting it out on paper, and then trying to manipulate what I had with color and all my tools I had, all my mediums. So let me just look at my notes.
It's fascinating. I've never heard of that word. I mean, I bet we can apply it in various other. I'm going to research it and understand it, because I'm sure that there are different perspectives that one can apply it in different other situations. So yeah, I'm quite intrigued.
And it's really a new perspective. So it's like putting on a new pair of Googles and looking at the world and see, oh, well, if mothers are going through this transition, and it's kind of normal to experience all those changes, and to needing to reconnect with yourself as you, like in adolescence, as you kind of lose a lot of the things you were used to before, or values you had, or just, yeah, it's just a change in your whole identity. It's an identity change in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I can. Yet it's a very good point, but I think it's also a bit of a grieving there, because in a way it's a bit of a grieving for something that you're losing, or you've lost, or sort of trying to probably recalibrate and claim some of the previous use back, because they are not all gone. So I think it's a matter of sort of integrating them, all of that in a different way, probably. Mm.
It's a very good point, and it's really fascinating that you bring up the topic of grief as kind of the first emotion coming to mind when we talk about this process.
Yeah.
Because when you become a mother, like, feeling grief is very strange, kind of surprised me in this experience, and I had nobody to talk to. Like, when I was even trying or daring to mention that I somehow feel grieving that version of myself that I lost, you know?
Yeah.
It was like, but you've got healthy kids. You should be happy. You should be like, they're healthy, like everything's going well. So kind of, what's your problem? So it took me a long time to be able to name this emotion without feeling ashamed. And it's
Yeah.
fascinating you hearing this emotion naming first, as you're just hearing about the process, and you're not a mother yourself, right?
No, I'm not. But I deal in a different way. I deal with the notion of mother, because my sort of my focus is it's healing trauma coming from narcissistic abuse. So from mothers who have been narcissists.
Yeah.
So I've spent a lot of time understanding this topic of mother, but from that direction. And in my experience, reading a lot, analyzing a lot, one comes to this aspect as well, that this some of the narcissistic mothers, they are stuck into this kind of they grieve who they were before the child, and some of them are stuck into this type of a pattern of that they can't get out, because they despise the new changes so much. So they are fixated on something else. So maybe if they have some of your support, they could get out of there and embrace the process. So I'm just telling, I'm talking about a niche, but funnily enough, it comes close to your niche.
Absolutely. And like the fact that they are kind of still grieving this old version and they can't let it go, leads to them kind of taking it out on the children, because it's the children's fault, So it's a very sad story, right? So
absolutely, and it can go to extremes. And I think that you are doing an amazing work, because you can say that you are doing prevention. You prevent actually this becoming a bigger issue and developing into a full-blown narcissistic abuse or neglect of some sort in the child. So what you're doing, probably but if you don't, my intuition tells me that this is it's one of your unique selling points as well. So
yes, it is, as well as kind of preventing women from postnatal depression, because they get some support and validation of their feelings that might be surprising, when they become a mother.
Absolutely. But you now see, I'm finding words which mean a lot to me. Validation. I mean, this word it's my word. This word is a word that I have in the front of my, whenever I talk to people or whenever I write about this, because this is what we need. The survivors of narcissistic abuse need validation. One of the key things that they've never had is validation. And I think I mean, this word, I think it's like an umbrella. It permeates everywhere, because we want to be heard. And when you're not heard and you're not understood, and when you have, I mean, I'm just smiling inside when you mentioned about those people saying, "Oh, but you have 3 lovely children, they're all healthy," and so on. But you're not listening. They are not listening to your. It's a very, as I said, it's a very disheartening, because people come with a platitude and you are not heard at all.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
again, what you're doing, it's groundbreaking, and you are doing much more good than you can imagine.
Thank you. So, but maybe we want to do some art today as well, right?
Yeah. Oh gosh, I'm ready to go.
So first, I want to tell you just 2 or 3 little things about the process, so you don't get kind of surprised by it.
Yep.
So I normally start with a little warm-up exercise that you can do while I talk about those points I want you to know. And it's very easy. So you just take your first sheet of paper and a pen, and you can draw this, how do you call it in English? An infinity symbol?
Infinite, yeah, infinite.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
And you just place it in front of you, and you can follow this figure while I talk, and you can use your dominant hand or your non-dominant hand, or you can change direction, whatever. So this exercise is actually helping you to connect your both hemispheres in your brain, and to open up to your subconscious, and to just quiet your rational brain a little bit. That's normally overactive in our normal everyday life.
Yeah.
So we will go through a relaxation process first. And before we start the drawing, we will systematically relax the body and connect with our inner world, so that we're able to access and then express our emotions. And there are a few things I want you to know. So the first thing is that you are going to draw with your eyes closed. So we will go through the relaxation process, and we will then start drawing in this state. So I want you to place your pen and paper ready afterwards, so that you can start drawing directly without having to look for your supplies. And don't worry if you exit the paper when you're drawing. Try to keep your eyes closed and just feel your way back to the paper. And you can use the other hand to just feel the edge of the paper and get back. If you need some time to get started, like, just give yourself time. Sometimes we need a lot of time to express our emotions, especially if you have a hard time to express your needs and emotions generally in your life. It might also be challenging to draw from this place and to really allow yourself to express what you feel. So you're not in a hurry, just give yourself time, and I will hold space for you. So I normally focus on one thing with the mothers. So we kind of focus on the role of the mother, and what image we have around this, or what the archetype you kind of think about when you think about a mother. But you can take anything in your life, right? Or you can take a situation that is coming up repeatedly, or that's bothering you, or you take an area in your life where you feel stuck, and try to kind of hold this in your presence while you express. So, yeah. And then maybe try to be present to this situation, and also to be present about if your mind is jumping to something else while we do this process. Because when we stick with one thing, we will come to a moment where we feel like it's empty, or it's just finished, it's enough, it's done. And this is the moment to then stop.
Mhm.
So, and the last point is, when you're finished, I invite you to take a moment before you open your eyes, so that you can really drop back into your feeling space and your heart space. And when you open your eyes, try to look at those lines with just curiosity and compassion, and rather feel them than see them. And just to try not to judge them. Try not to immediately jump in your head and analyze what you did. To just follow those lines with your eyes, and feel how they resonate in your body.
Mhm.
So,
Wow.
that's it.
Woohoo.
That's
Can't wait. Yay. Yeah,
the instructions.
perfect.
So you can place your drawing paper in front of you and take your pen. Let's just see that I forgot to prepare my own paper in the second one. Okay, so take a deep inhale and exhale and place your feet on the ground, on the floor. And just take a moment to think about the topic you're going to draw about. You might recall the event or the feeling connected to it. And just take a deep inhale and exhale. And then I invite you to inhale very deeply. And when you're at it, you feel full, you take another very sharp inhale before you exhale. I'm gonna do, you're gonna hear what I do. So you take a deep inhale. Like a little sniff. You're gonna do it 3 times. So take another deep inhale. And then you can just breathe in your own rhythm and feel your body in the chair. And I want you to go to the top of your head with your awareness and just feel your head and your skull. And when you exhale, release all tension. Feel your face relax. Feel all the muscles in your face relax, the little muscles around your eyes, your cheek. Feel your tongue relaxing, very heavy in your mouth. Relax your neck and shoulders, and down your arms and hands and fingers. Just relax and let it go. Feel your chest and stomach relaxing. Relaxing down your legs into your feet, to the very tip of your toes. And now imagine a purple-white light from above entering your body through the crown chakra. It's flowing down your neck, into your heart. And it's filling up your heart area with a very bright and vibrant light. It's the energy of the universe you connect to. And when you feel this connection upwards, I invite you to now imagine the center of the earth. Imagine a deep orange yellowish light coming from the center of the earth. It's coming all the way up from the center to your feet, and it enters your body through the sole of your feet. It's moving up your legs, into your knees, up into your pelvis, up through your core, and connecting to the bright light in your chest. And those two energies, the energy of the universe and the energy of Mother Earth, they connect within your center, which is the home of who you truly are and who you truly want to be. So I invite you to try and make this light even brighter and bigger. So with every inhale, it's getting a little brighter. And with every exhale, it's getting a little bigger. And maybe you can feel its vibration. And you can try and rise its vibration. And with every inhale, imagine it becoming a little brighter and a little bigger. And I invite you to place your non-dominant hand on your heart, because this is the place you want to draw from. And I now invite you to take your pen and you imagine a line of this light going out from the center of your chest, connecting to the point of your pen. And it's this line of light that is going to move your pen. So when you can feel or see this connection in your mind, you can put your pen to paper. And with your next inhale, focus on the light in your chest. And exhale, move the pen. Just feel. Don't think.
Okay. Is that everything? That's everything. Just take a quick look.
You can breathe in your own rhythm, but don't forget to breathe. Feel how the tip of your pen is moving over the paper. Maybe it's making a sound. With every inhale, you check in with this light within your chest. And with every exhale, you can see it flowing out through your pen. Keep breathing and keep your awareness in your heart area. And you continue until you feel like there's nothing left about this topic to express. You may feel calm, peaceful, complete, as if you were there, or maybe you just feel empty. Check in with your chest again. When you, just before you open your eyes, I invite you once more to connect to your heart area. I'll give you another moment. And remember to just feel and follow the lines you created. So when I do this with my mother clients, I invite them to look at it and just in general try and see if they can name an emotion that's coming up when they look at what they created. I'm a little bit surprised by mine, so I'm going to show you.
Well, oh
What
wow,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
So I would say like this kind of line work feels a little bit like mine, and this feels somewhat strange.
Like two entities, like two parts of yourself together.
Right. There are two different things like going on at the same time.
Mm.
And I then invite the mothers to just look at those lines and find a part they really like. Find a line or a shape that really speaks to them. And this is normally the hard part,
Yeah.
to find something they really like or enjoy. And when I have in-person workshops, I invite them to really just take the pen and maybe trace this shape or this line and make it more important or more visible,
Mm.
so that they already start changing what they have a little bit without analyzing it too much, without taking it to the mind too much.
Wow, it's fascinating, I have to say. I mean, it's a lot of emotion. I have to say, I felt a lot of emotion in this process, and um, I've never done it. I mean, it's just incredible. I can see the potential. I can see where, how much one, where how much one can play around this.
Yeah.
And
So as an example, I really like this shape here in my
Uh-huh.
drawing. So I'm going to just make this more visible, or just more. I'm looking for a word I can't find in English.
So
More
go ahead.
More
Say it in your language.
prevalent. Is this an English word? Word that
Yeah.
would.
We can take that. It's funny because when I've started this process, you know, the image that came to my head was of a skater, of a one that's skating on a, you know, and the hand was moving. Absolutely, I felt this kind of a skater doing pirouettes, you know, moving in all with so much freedom. You know, it was incredible, and it was, you know, it's all going all over the place on my thing. But it's funny how in the end, you know, we went all over the place, and in the end it came as if everything sparks from this little drawing, it's a mug which was here. But how interesting that, you know, everything is like, and in a way for me it was letting go of this blockage, which is I'm not good enough. And I can see the story here, you know, the moment you let go of that, it's like an eruption, you know, things happen. So
Yeah.
yeah, you can tell stories now. One can tell stories.
Yeah. And it's a lot of like, it's a very interesting process then when I a guide, or how do you say, accompany women through the process of looking at their lines, and like often really jumping into harsh judgment about what they produced. And all those stories of it's not good enough, it's not pretty, it's not beautiful, it's not, and like trying to move away from all this good enough judgment. What is beautiful, what is a masterpiece, like, so this is not about creating something beautiful, it's really about the expression and the feeling behind it.
And finding your way, because I think that here you tie it in with finding their own way through motherhood. I mean, finding their own rhythm, because it's also the judgment comes in, you know, it's not good enough because they have in their mind a Picasso, or they have a Rembrandt or something. And
Yes, or the perfect mother ideal, you know, like always happy, always put together, always on top of things. And yeah. So then the next step, often I ask them, which is less difficult for them, is like, find something you don't like. Find something, an area that's kind of bothering you, that you're like, meh, don't know. And then you have kind of two options. You can, well, we're working with acrylic paint here in the studio often, so they can just paint over it. Or you can try and find the beauty in it and try and tweak it in a way that that you prefer.
Sort of making it more palatable, in other words.
What does palatable mean?
I mean, making it more acceptable. So is it, I mean, can you also add like a little piece of a collage and get it on top of, can you create also something like that, just to make it, to make something out of, in a way, making something out of ugliness, whatever it is in the head of the people, that's making it, yeah, okay. That's, wow, very interesting.
And sometimes it's something like, you know, not liking that there is so much white space in one corner, you know.
Yeah.
If I've seen paintings or drawings where a person was just like using just this one corner, you know, and then she was like, but what, like, I don't like all this white space. So I'm like, okay, let's fill in this space with something you like.
That's a good metaphor, isn't it, for being stuck sometimes, and you say, oh, but just twist the perspective, do something, bring a little bit of movement into that area or whatever area is. Yeah.
Yes, and then maybe, you know, when you go further and you ask the questions like, why are you putting yourself in this small corner?
Mm-hmm.
And then, okay, let's try and be bold.
Yeah, yeah. And I bet with the colors as well, they might have a problem. Some people with the colors choosing a bold color. It might
Yes.
also on that. Yeah. Oh, wow. Oh, I'm yeah, very excited by this process. Yeah. Mm.
I'm having a hard time finding something I don't like.
When I look at the lines, you know, I'm tempted because I'm playing with neuro lines, you know, Neurographica.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm tempted to round the corners, you know, in my head says now it says round the corners, you know, I'm really there you are.
And I was okay. So I like this, and this is one of those patterns, you know, or the things you don't want in a neural line. You don't want the how do you call it? Like that it's a pattern, or you know.
Yeah, I know
And
what you mean.
I was wondering why this speaks to me in a positive way today. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
well, maybe I need some routine. Maybe I need some more structure, some more things I can lean on to that feel stable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And probably, you see, it's funny you mentioned because maybe this is what I need, because this is what I feel the need. I feel the need to organize it. I feel the need to organize the thing. And in my head, I will organize it with rounding the corners. And I was just thinking, wow, I have a hell of a lot of a job here to do rounding so many lines, but it is so exciting. I mean, my brain already feels good because I know I feel good when I round the corners and I know the patterns that come out of it. They are quite exciting. So I'm already rounding the corners. I'm on my way with that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So you can play around with this for a long time.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I invite my clients to maybe put them up on a fridge or somewhere in their environment so that they can look at them and they can feel into them and they can get insight and information from them. But often that's what happens to me is like what I said before about the pattern. It's like, yeah, I think I can see why I'm drawn to this repetitive structure at the moment.
Oh, I get it because it's very, I mean, what I found is it's soothing for the brain. Extremely, the patterns are soothing, really
Yeah.
soothing. It took me a long time because I depending on where you are in life, especially on a creative path, on this intuitive creative path, art as therapy, the way you are in your life, you show up in a different way on the page. You show up in a very, very different way. And that's the pattern. When one looks for pattern, it's one looks for peace. That's what I found. Patterns equal peace, equal stability, equals feeling that you are, let's say, in control, but in a positive way.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, John, I don't want to call you out, but how are you feeling about your lines?
Yeah, it went straight into something that I'm working on in my own painting at the moment, which is I do very calm, clear paintings a lot of the time. And I'm working on abstracts at the moment, which are significantly more difficult to do. I'm working with someone, and a lot of my work in abstracts comes from a place where I kind of go, okay, a little bit chaotic, and I kind of like that. but I'm trying to find a way to work calmly in abstract because I like calm working. So that was sort of what I was working with. And so I made a complete mess on the page in a way that was really quite fun, just lines everywhere. And then I was just now really highlighting, you can't really see very easily, just sort of then highlighting areas and enhancing lines and things. And it was really interesting seeing, so I was very calm when I was doing it, but seeing a really interesting combination of chaos and calm, which is something I'm very interested in my own abstract work at the moment, is trying to find work which is dynamic and has elements of chaos, but come out of a place of mental calm for me. Because all of my art, all my visual art, when I was an improviser, a physical improviser, towards the last 10 years of my career, I began to get very good at improvising from a place of deep calm. I would do very dynamic, wild improvisations, but I would be super calm. People would go, God, you must have been thinking so fast out there. So I'd be talking and dancing and so on. And I'd be going, nah, I wasn't thinking at all. I was in a place of complete calm. And that's what I'm trying to re-find in my painting. So it was very interesting, and I've done a lot of highlighting on it before I just now and filling some areas in. But it's very interesting seeing the structure that sort of emerged because I was really not thinking about anything as I did it. So,
And it feels very dynamic when I look at it. As you said, it does not, the calmness is not the first impression I get.
yeah, and that's sort of exciting to me. Suddenly, where because things like that abstract behind me, it's nice, but it's static. There's no movement in that abstract, which is why I'm not very satisfied with it. I'm trying to find movement in abstracts, but I don't want them to come from a place of, Jackson Pollock splattering paint. I think he's a genius, but it's not where I want to be. I want to be in a place of calm, but creating very dynamic work. So that was really interesting for me, just as a almost sort of go, because I've been painting half the day, go just check in, where are you up to, boy? And yeah, and it's a strangely Picasso-like horse appeared at the top, which
Yeah, I was going to say that this for me, it's very much Don Quixote. I mean, the moment you showed that, it's like Don Quixote. In my head was Don Quixote, and with you have this the spear as well there in my imagination,
Yeah,
So
beautiful. I didn't see the spear. The horse. I
yeah, the
sort
whole
of added in. I
right,
mean, it was there, but I highlighted it to make it there. I was thinking more Guernica than Don Quixote, but
we're in the same country.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And I was thinking like the feeling of it is one of those what's the word, like medieval battle scenes,
Yeah.
like and instead of horse, or just like the energy of it is kind of a
Mm.
Oh, I'll go medieval battle any day. It's also just very interesting. It's very different to what came out when I did this exercise with you last time, which must be about 4 months ago now. Last time I really liked what came out, but it was very, very different, in tone and in quality. And lots of very small marks and a couple of very large shapes and things. And it was really about this relationship between the shapes, which were in one part of the page, and the small marks in another. And that was quite meaningful for me in some ways about where I was at the time. So.
yeah, that's very interesting. I could go on forever here, as always. So mine does not yet look so finished.
Yeah, but as I said, we can add the color then, and with the color again, 3 more hours later, you will still keep adding, so. I can, and again, because I can see, and I'm going to continue to carry on with my, because I have this in my head. I keep circling now, you know, I keep rounding.
Yeah.
It is, so I keep going the rounding, and then I'm going to color the round, so I can already, you know, imagine, see the patterns being so vibrant. And it's interesting that I, in my head, you know, I kept my hand going in the continuously. I did not take my pencil from the page. So it's fascinating. But next time, I wonder what it's going to be, when I'm going to stop and start in another place. But here I felt the continuum. How interesting. It never even crossed my mind that I can stop, or actually my hand did not want to stop and start in another thing. It wanted to carry on. So yeah, it's
yeah, it's very different. From my experience. So, but I'm interested to see what you're going to experience if you do it again. And there are moments where I also just like the pen is like glued to the page and it just does not stop. And there are other times when it's kind of like beep, beep, beep. I'm done.
These are the messages from the subconscious mind, aren't they? I mean, this is what I take them. They are messages from our inner self or subconscious mind, the divine mother, whatever, you know, whatever you want to connect with. And probably even the notion of setting the intention, probably at the beginning, if one set the intention to connect with Jesus or with a divine, with the ancient mother, or probably it's going to be a different, like a transmission.
Yes, and also for myself, you know, the thing I take in mind when I start drawing, like, it's this mother figure, or is it something different in my life? I also often use it to draw for projects or for visions, you know, to like where I want to go, and then see what shows up, and then developing it further on the page when I maybe feel stuck somewhere in the project, and I'm like, okay, I need to kind of get some new movement in this from a different place.
It's a very good tool, definitely, to get unstuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like neurographica, you know, it's
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of similarities between.
Oh gosh. You can play, as I said, I have this sort of skater in my head. I keep saying you can do pirouettes. You can do so many pirouettes with this technique. And we can do pirouettes with a neurographica. Again, you go in so many places, and you can just take it from the strict routine of doing it and infuse it with your creativity. Massive. Yeah. So there are similarities and they're different, but I can find one can combine them in a beautiful, beautiful healing way, healing manner. Yeah. That's a great gift you are bringing to the world, actually, Vreni.
Thank you. Do my best to bring it out to the world.
Yeah, you are doing really well. Very grateful.
So I'm very grateful for you taking part in this session, and maybe we see each other again in an event.
I will connect with you on LinkedIn. I think I'm going to connect with you via LinkedIn, and I would like to keep in touch. I'm going to show you how it's going to be, how this is going to look like in the future.
Please share your artwork, your painting.
Exactly. I'll connect with you. I'll link on LinkedIn, and yeah, I would like to stay in touch. It's a pleasure seeing somebody who is on the path and has such a beautiful take on a topic which is very sensitive to me. So you are bringing the positive on something which can be very negative. So yeah.
And I really liked the other side of the story, you know, Karina, when you're sharing about your narcissistic mother, that, you know, if Vreni can help people get through this matrescence time, then the damage or trauma on the children can be less. And we're seeing that in your life. And so, you know, thank you so much for sharing your story.
Oh, thank you, Angela. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a very good point, and this is why I see that a lot of children can be rescued, can be saved And a lot of mothers, because they are not happy, so they act from a place of self-abandonment, from grief, also from a place of self-neglect, but again, they want to take the supply from the child, and the child becomes the supply. They become the ones who are being abused in various ways, and the list it's huge. So you are absolutely doing a great thing, and Angela, you're so right. You identified that this is serving the community and serving the children. You're not only serving the mothers. You are, from my perspective of being not a mother. I'm not a mother because of that, because of what I've had to go through. And I'm saying you are, creating generations which are going to be healthier, and they're going to embrace life with both hands, and not be in a constant healing process, finding modalities to heal, nurture, and still thrive, but having so much baggage. So yeah, remember always what an amazing thing you're doing for the future generations, not the mothers. You're not doing it for them. You're doing it for the children, from my perspective.
Yeah, I think I do it for them both.
Yeah. I'm only speaking from my angle. I said, do this. I don't want children to suffer anymore. More than necessary. I don't want that. Yeah, it's a shame that we didn't have time to meet you more, Angela, and to share this. But it would have been lovely to meet you as well, and to.
Yeah, and I apologize. I've double booked myself on many fronts. But I've been enjoying listening to what I could. So thank you.
Thank you, everybody. And
thank you. Very lovely to be here.
Hope to see you soon on a School of Humankind event or somewhere else.
Yeah.
Enjoy your evening or your day.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Take care.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.